Welcome, fellow preppers, to another essential guide on preparedness. Today we're diving into the often underestimated hero of the pantry, baking powder. While it may seem like a simple ingredient, its versatility and long shelf life make it a must-have for any preparedness stash. Baking powder is a mixture of baking soda, an acid, often cream of tartar, and a moisture-absorbing agent, usually cornstarch. It contains both an acidic component and a base, so it can react with moisture and produce carbon dioxide gas without the need for additional acidic ingredients. Baking powder isn't just for baking cakes and muffins. It's a multi-purpose ingredient that can be used for everything from cleaning to personal hygiene. Let's explore its various applications and how it can come in handy during emergencies. Cleaning. Create a cleaning paste by mixing baking powder with water to form a thick consistency. Use this paste to scrub and clean surfaces like sinks, countertops, and tile grout. Its abrasive properties help remove stains and grime without scratching surfaces. Alright folks, time to sprinkle that magical white powder over the crime scene. Stain. Sprinkle it generously like you're adding the secret ingredient to a witch's potion. Let it sit there. Marinate in its own messiness for a few hours or heck, overnight if you've got the patience of a saint or just forgot it was there. This gives the baking powder time to work its stain-lifting mojo, like a superhero swooping in to save the day. Sprinkle baking powder on carpets, upholstery, or inside shoes to neutralize odors. Let it sit for a few hours or overnight, then vacuum or wipe away the powder along with the absorbed odors, leaving your home smelling clean and fresh. Personal hygiene. Add a teaspoon of baking powder to your bathwater for a soothing and detoxifying soak. It can help alleviate skin irritation and leave you feeling refreshed. Combine baking powder with a small amount of water to create a simple yet effective toothpaste. The abrasive nature of baking powder helps scrub away plaque and food particles while neutralizing odors for fresh breath. Use baking powder as a natural deodorant by applying it directly to your underarms. Its odor-neutralizing properties help absorb sweat and eliminate body odor. Or mix baking powder with coconut oil. Add a few drops of essential oils like lavender or tea tree oil to create a natural deodorant paste. For those days when you don't have access to water or traditional shampoo, sprinkle a small amount of baking powder onto your roots and massage it into your scalp. Baking powder helps absorb excess oil and refreshes your hair, leaving it looking and feeling clean. Emergency uses. When faced with the fiery wrath of an unruly stove, fear not, for this magical ingredient springs into action. Sprinkle baking powder directly onto small grease fires or electrical fires to smother the flames and suppress combustion. With a puff and a poof, it releases carbon dioxide, transforming a potential disaster into a cloud of calm. Create a paste of baking powder and water to treat insect bites and stings. Apply it to the affected area to reduce itching and inflammation. DIY beauty products. Make a gentle exfoliating scrub by mixing baking powder with honey or olive oil. Why settle for a mundane exfoliating routine when you can whip up a spa-worthy concoction right in your kitchen? Use it to slough away dead skin cells and reveal smoother, brighter skin. Create a refreshing mouthwash by mixing baking powder with water and a few drops of peppermint essential oil. Gargle with the solution to freshen your breath and promote oral hygiene. Food preservation. Add a pinch of baking powder to boiling water when blanching vegetables to help them retain their vibrant color. Use baking powder as a meat tenderizer by sprinkling it over tougher cuts before cooking. It helps break down proteins, resulting in more tender and flavorful meat. Extended shelf life. Unlike other perishable items, baking powder has a remarkably long shelf life if stored correctly. Proper storage. Store baking powder in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight and moisture. Exposure to humidity can cause it to clump and lose its effectiveness. Transfer baking powder to an airtight container or resealable bag to prevent air and moisture from seeping in. Labeling and rotation. Label the storage container with expiration date to keep track of its freshness. It's best to use baking powder within 6 months to 1 year for optimal performance. Practice the first-in, first-out method when using multiple containers of baking powder. Use older stock before newer ones to ensure nothing goes to waste. Testing for potency. To check if your baking powder is still active, perform a simple test before using it in recipes. Mix a small amount of baking powder with hot water. If it bubbles vigorously, it's still potent. If the baking powder fails the bubbling test, it may have lost its leavening power and should be replaced to avoid disappointing baking results. In times of crisis, being resourceful is key. So fellow preppers, don't underestimate the power of baking powder in your preparedness arsenal. This stuff is like the Swiss Army knife of the kitchen, It's versatile. It lasts longer than your last relationship, and it's got more emergency skills than MacGyver on a sugar rush. So, next time you're stocking up, don't forget to add a little magic powder to your survival stash. Until our next rendezvous, stay resourceful and stay prepared. Thanks for watching.